And we are back. Once again, it's the Wash Gods. Wash never washed up. I am Sean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, I'm Draft, man. We're, like you said, we're on the couch again.
Back with you niggas.
Shout out to 404 Creators, No Limit Exposures.
Taji.
Exposures, I put an S on it, like black people usually do.
Kroger's.
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 Yeah. Publix or something.
Walmart.
Yeah, so we're back once again. This is we're the Wash Guys. Wash never washed up. This is episode 66.
66. Shout out Joshua Hosang. Pardon me. Who we just talked about, and I still fucked up your name. But number 66, played for the New York Islanders, currently playing in the Swedish Hockey League. It was interesting because the article I read was about him taking Mario Lemieux's number. I used to be into hockey, not so much anymore, but I know that name. So obviously he's a force to be reckoned with if he's talking about
I believe it's Mario, actually, too. Just throw that out there. Mario.
Some shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Frenchman.
I remember first hearing about Mario Lemieux, and it fucked me up because I'm like, man, have I been saying Mario's name wrong this whole time?
He went into a quandary. A deep dive.
Yeah.
To a quantum leap.
Yeah. But shout out to Mario Lemieux, Joshua sang. David DeCastro, still is great. All number 66.
Yep. Shout out Emperor Palpatine, man. Order 66, Dark side over here.
I don't know shit about Star Wars, so
If you know, you know.
how he judged me for Friends, I judge him for Star Wars. Same energy.
Damn.
Yeah.
She'll get more respect out here in these streets. We can have Star Wars Friends conversations.
Get into a fight of niggas who watch Friends and niggas who watch Star Wars. Who the fuck gonna win?
Hey man, I remember a stat.
Beat the shit out you Star Wars geeks.
I remember a stat where they were talking about the census, whatever Anyway, I'm not gonna date myself, but it was a census. They were talking about like a larger majority this year identified themselves as a Jedi in religious denomination than any other recorded time in history. I was like, yo, motherfuckers is in the 2000 aughts still putting down Jedi on their census.
He's basically a Buddhist with a lightsaber.
Yeah, with a lightsaber. They believe in space.
Yeah.
If Scientology and Buddhism had a baby.
Shout out to all the Scientologists and the Buddhists.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out Xenu.
Yeah.
Seaboard.
I ain't got no smoke for y'all, man. Y'all be coming to niggas' cribs.
Get
y'all
them
be
thetans
finding
about you.
haters. Y'all be
Yeah,
doxing niggas and shit online. But
That money coming though, but that's we talking Scientology this early. Ooh, it's gonna be a phone call. You gonna have to get clear.
on that moment, on that note, we'll get into the countries. These United States, the United Kingdom, Australia,
Tea and crumpets.
Canada,
Canada.
Iceland, Germany, Ireland, Russia,
Joshua Hosang.
India, France,
Bonjour.
Brazil,
Sam sorry.
Norway, New
Shout out
Zealand,
Carnival.
Finland, Costa Rica, Puerto
Shout
Rico,
Ho.
Romania, Spain, Ecuador, Denmark, the Netherlands, Sweden, Singapore, Slovakia, Belgium, Italy, Qatar, Turkey,
Cutter.
Hong Kong, Japan, Mexico,
Konnichiwa.
Saudi Arabia.
South Korea, and
forgot
Saudi
one.
Arabia.
Yeah. Shout out
So,
all the countries, man. Thank you for rocking with us.
yeah. I think I just never mind. But shout out to Australia. A lot of Aussies been hitting us up. I think we got a nice little following down there. So shout out to all the Australians and
That's
shit.
what's up.
Yeah, I guess we're getting into wash. Oh, how was your week?
Week
around.
was washed. Father's Day was this past weekend. Shout out fathers everywhere. In true dad fashion, I lost my wallet. Wonderful way to start the week. So that's a thing. Work-wise, pretty standard. I had a off day this week that ended up being a more work day today, which is usually occupied by trying to find more work. So I had an interview, I went on that, and as soon as I pulled up, there's always a certain amount of anxiety that comes with doing an interview. It's like test taking anxiety, almost. And I was just thinking about it.
I never have that shit when it comes to that shit. I always wonder if it's because I'm dead inside. But go on.
It's funny because I thought about you in that sense.
I never have any like, just go in here and see what happens.
Pretty much.
Yeah, go on. My bad.
But it's fine. It leads into the shit I'm talking about anyway. Because of that, I kind of was like, yo, do I really want this job in actuality? Like, it's a job. I'm going to do it because I need money and I got to do a job. But do I really want it? And I know what to expect. It falls in line with just manual labor, like mind-numbing manual labor. And I'm just kind of like, you're not going to get me coming there and beg. So I wore Nikes. I wore the Nikes I got on now. I wore a button-up shirt, a Bape shirt at that. I almost wore a fitted. just to let these niggas know there's no cap.
Yeah, I was finally watching the second season of Atlanta, and I thought about, I don't know if y'all remember that episode we do with the waves and shit.
Yeah.
He was in the interview with
He took it there.
Take it off into the moment. He's walking through the door and shit.
Yeah. That's real life. Yeah.
I have gotten way more lax in the way I like approach interviews. Like, I'm gonna wear some shit that's nice to me, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'll put on the button up.
And when you look interview for these type of jobs, I feel like you look ridiculous in a suit. Why the fuck would you wear a suit to a warehouse job or some shit?
Yeah,
Like you dress for the job. Anything I wear on a daily basis is gonna be better than what I would have to wear to work. So why would I come in here trying to show off my wardrobe?
That was the best advice I guess my parents always gave me. Like you said, dress
for the
like
job.
dress like you're starting today. So I'm like, nigga, I'm not coming here in a 3-piece suit and shit. Like, I mean, not that I have one, but anyway.
Two-piece suit.
There's no 3-piece suits?
Yeah, or 3-piece suits.
Okay.
But I mean, at best, nigga, if you talk to Steve Harvey, it's nigga 18 pieces. How many pieces of chicken come in? Yeah, in Popeyes, like 20 piece suit. But it was funny because I'm going through the motions in my head. Oh, shit.
Yes.
Boy,
Yeah.
But I'm going through the motions in my head about like how these things go. I'm saying like, yo, they either gonna sit me down with the good old boy, or they gonna send me to church, the church going gospel listening black guy. Guess which one I had?
Second.
Yep, sure enough. He from Atlanta, talking, looked like Dr. Martin Luther King. In the office playing gospel music. I was like, I'm in the office smiling and shit for no reason. Just I'm like, damn, nigga, I be right. But sit down, we have a conversation.
Them niggas usually have bodies like 20 years ago. They changed their lives.
Exactly, and that's the kind of vibe. He was like, cause he always they always talk about jobs like this. Like it saved their life.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for you, man.
It changed I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today. Those kind of vibes.
Like, nigga, you're nowhere.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, this is not where I want to be. This is my last option.
Yeah, we both here for different reasons. But of course, you play the game, and I went in there with the intentions on like just seeing what this shit was about. Like I already knew what it was about, and everything came full circle. Like I understood what he was talking about, but it wasn't anything I hadn't seen before. And it was just funny just being able to call shit before I see it. Going through the motions at a regular job or other jobs I've gone to previously. Taji back here with the cheese. This nigga, man, he did it intentionally too. He was like, "Yo, I got one more just in case I get hungry during the pod, so I can open it up on camera and mic."
I like cheese.
As we see.
Anyway,
but yeah, that was pretty much it. The interview was cool. Cause I lost my wallet, I tried to do some preparatory shit and go through the motions on filling out my replacement information online. So on the way back from the interview, I'm like, man, let me just stop by the DMV. It's still kind of early. Not early enough, apparently, nigga. What the fuck? You see all sorts of fuckery in the DMV, and multiply that by the fact that I went south to Cab DMV. So Yeah, seen some sights. Random out. A nigga tried to first.
Oh yeah, that's my DMV. I fuck with that.
First place I went to. I mean, the first time. As soon as I walk up, a nigga walks
It's
up.
probably just bunking now because of the I'm about to call it the lockout. Whatever the fucking COVID shit, quarantine.
Lockdown.
Yeah. Yeah, because I used to
All this
always
life.
hit South Dakota. That shit used to be dead as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I'm in line and this nigga tried to offer me $5 to hold his spot because he was like, yo, I was like, yo, just come back. Just I fought with it's cool, bro. You had to give me $5 to hold your spot in line. I understand. Go take a piss. And shortly after that, I'm hearing this nigga talk to his son about like not going to jail and like how I never wish that on my enemy, nigga. Talking to his son like a man. They just going back and forth, and I'm like, man, I enjoyed seeing it. It's like every version of black people try to coach their children how to negotiate with life is funny to me. It shouldn't be, but it's fun. It's like, it's comedic in the sense. It's like, yeah, I remember having this conversation with my dad. It didn't sound like this, but you always get the gist.
How old was the young lad?
So we're in line. So he was like 16, 17, somewhere around the license age, driving age. And also another observation. Anytime you see a nigga in a shirt that says what he does, he don't do it. Like, this niggas in line standing there with paid the cost to be the boss. It's like, no, nigga, you paid the cost to get that shirt. That's why you got the shirt on, because you didn't pay them costs to be the boss. Boss don't need no shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's been my week. Shout out Corey. My cousin Corey had his son, man. Congratulations.
Oh, shit. Congratulations. Round of applause and shit. Yeah, congratulations, Corey, on the little nigga. My week was cool, man. No complaints. What did I do? I didn't really do shit, man. My weeks is getting slower and slower. I've been listening back to the podcast like, damn, bro, I don't be doing shit. I'm going to change this shit this week. This is going to be the week.
Fast forward to this week.
It's already Tuesday. I'm like, well, I mean, Tuesday is pretty much Friday. Friday's pretty much Sunday.
We here.
Yeah. And now and the week's over. So, I just did a whole bunch of old nigga shit. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of paperwork filling out, like, for shit. Like, going to offices and shit. Like, just, you know, shit that's not interesting. Other than that, I know my bro had a cookout. Shout out to him, man. I didn't go. So that's not much of a story, but I just like to highlight it because it happened. It was raining like a motherfucker Saturday, so they kind of put a damper on that, metaphorically and literally. Other than that, I guess that's it. Yeah, I didn't say shit. Yeah, my week was short. Didn't do shit. Still here. Hopefully I look the same as I did last week. I hope I didn't age much over the week. Other than that, I guess we get into watch moments. Oh, okay. My shit's gonna be quick, just like my week. So I was watching this influencer documentary. I believe it's ABC documentary, but it's actually pretty dope. It's about black influencers and about the disparages between white influencers, and it just got me thinking like this shit is low key like the Sammy Davis Jr. days and shit, like of with kids and shit. Like they just want to be entertainers. Like we grew up, we were like more specialists. Like you had a nigga over there that wanted to play basketball. He might fall off and start rapping. But other than that, nigga, like, you know what I mean? The homies over there, they play football. That's just what they did. Like, now niggas just social media stars. They might
do a bunch of different
shit. They might sing, rap, do whatever the fuck the case is. They just trying to be on.
That singular vocation mentality. That's what I was talking about last week when I was saying, like, there's a certain type of, like, programming that we underwent that forced us into a certain vein. Like, oh, we just got to do this. And I don't know where that, like, if I can figure out, especially because I have a child now, if I can figure out where that turn is and kind of predict it, I can prevent it because the options are limitless, literally. Like, there are people out there who, like, pick up new jobs in their 30s, like, in the 50s and find their way. And at least not even to a point where you're looking at it like these people are exceedingly rich, but their life is sustainable and they happy. They got their own time. I was thinking about that shit in the interview today. I was like, he's telling me like, hey, you can make a lot of money here. And in my mind, I'm thinking, man, the richest man on his time. I don't give a fuck about money for real. Like,
side note, those old niggas or that nigga in the cleaners on Paid in Full. That's the nigga you described.
Mr. Pip.
Yeah, Mr. Pip. Yeah. But anyway, fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. But the thing about that shit is that I thought about too. Like I think there are plus and minuses to it because niggas they don't have like a focus. I think there are positives to come with focuses though. Like being like very good at one thing. Like the fact that they don't submerge themselves into any like set skill is kind of like they tend to be scatterbrained. Like for me, I'm like a dude that I like to focus on like one or two things. So I was looking at it like, man, how the fuck can you even balance all this? Like you're trying to rap, sing over here, and then you got to do 5 TikTok videos a day and all this shit. I'm just like, these dudes and all the people in the documentary were like 15, 16 to 20 maybe. You know what I mean? So and they all talking about, man, I just feel like I'm behind, man. I got to get my mom out her, I got to buy my mom a crib and shit. I'm like, these motherfuckers are 20 years old talking about this shit. Like I'm bleep that. I'm an age and nigga, I still ain't got shit together. Nigga, I'm still juggling apples and shit. You know what I mean?
But I think part of that comes with the way we learn. Like there are certain types of people who I think are good at managing or high functioning at managing a bunch of different things at once.
Yeah.
And I think part of the learning curve as far as psychological patterns or the way people think, like ADHD kind of fits that narrative. Like, and being somebody like who, I don't know what you call it now because I don't really feel like ADHD is a thing, but on a certain spectrum of thought that functions that way, I notice how I work and how I get things done. You start a lot of different shit at once. You get to a certain place with some of it and you say the rest for later. Like for some people from a particular like learning school or who come from a certain psychology, they might look at that as scatterbrain or like not able to finish it. But like forming the ways you function and how you accomplish things has a lot to do with, I think, the level of creativity in the new generation. Like they aren't necessarily forced to be in a certain box, like having to choose between whether they want to be academic or liberal when it comes down to thought. You can kind of be both.
Yeah, I mean they have like I don't know if we really had the people like the Donald Glovers or the Daves or whoever else is doing multiple things, but like you get to see those people like live in person. I don't remember Jay-Z like having a fucking sitcom and shit. You know what I mean? Like that shit wasn't a thing when we were kids. So I guess maybe Red and Meth, like in the later years, but that was when they got super corny. But that was kind of like the graveyard type shit. We used to look at it like now it's kind of like the thing to do.
Yeah.
It's just like, be a social media star, be whatever. Like, be a director, get your own sitcom, do a musical, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Brand management.
Yeah.
Rappers end up being the president of some clothing brand.
Yeah, and that too. Like, people are just brands now, I think in our era, it's like, you were just a rapper. Like, I think we kind of like, they were brands, but...
Niggas would act. That was a transition. Like,
Pac was, I guess we had Pac. Pac was probably the one. But... it's really like gotten into that next level of shit. Everybody does everything now. Like you see West Side Gun have a fucking art gallery and shit. You know what I mean? Just everybody does everything. So I just think the worst of it is like, man, even like when we first started the podcast, I'm like, I don't know if I should be doing 2 things. But it's like, oh yeah, that's just some war shit. Cause it's like, nigga, everybody does everything now. Don't nobody just do one thing. That's old nigga shit.
Yeah, I think about the amount of effort it takes to get all this shit done with this sometimes. I'm like, man, I can't imagine this being like a requirement, me just having to post shit all day. Like I would be busy, I would be overwhelmed to a certain extent, but I also would feel like I'm doing nothing because it's not me lifting or like physically doing something, touching it with my hands. All this shit goes out into a space.
But they had like a boss, like a dude that kind of ran the house because basically they had like a influencer's house.
Was it the one in LA?
Nah, it was in Atlanta. It was all black, but they had like the boss of the influencer house, and he had one-on-ones with dudes, and like, yo, you gotta start posting more. You gotta get your views up. You gotta do this. I'm just like, damn, bro, like this shit is really intense, bro. Like this is a full-time job. But like I said, man, it's just the old nigga shit in me was looking at this shit like I was really looking at it like, Jesus Christ, this is what kids do? Like, yo, people tell me they spend hours on TikTok videos. I'm just like, what? Like, that shit is crazy to me. But yeah, that's it.
Solid watch moment. My watch moment was like Saturday. Like I told you, my cousin Corey had his baby. I think he had his baby on his the day before his birthday. Saturday was his birthday.
Joking, Corey.
Depressing draft ass. And then like the day before Father's Day was his birthday, and
that's dope.
I was out with my daughter at her gymnastics class, and I randomly called my dad. 'Cause we always like swing by there, say what's up. She always kicks it with my mom. Me and my dad get the opportunity to catch up, family time. And the phone went straight to voicemail. So I'm like, I just swing by on the way back home. And before gymnastics class is over with, I had a call from my uncle, and he's like, yo, you talked to your dad today? And at first I was like, yeah, but then I realized he didn't pick up the phone, so I was like, I called him, but it went to voicemail. I figured I'd just swing by on the way home. He was like, well, your mom just called and said that she ain't spoke to him since this morning either.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, all right. I think I was about to head out towards you because we were gonna go to said barbecue for Hayes, but that happened and I ended up having to get on the hunt, and it was a bunch of shit that happened that day. Like another day where I was off, but I had just a bunch of things on the docket. Like I had gone through so many different places in the city. I was like, man, I probably passed wherever he was at, like the areas we were in, and I didn't even think to look for real. Like, but you know what I mean? Who does? So before I start panicking, I'm just like, yo, I got in the backseat. Ooh, bleep that. But I got my daughter in the backseat. I'm getting ready to head by there. Let me just drive the route I would expect I would drive on the way home. And I do that because it took a little bit longer. I end up like calling my uncle and saying like, yo, I'm just finna come get you so that way we together in case we need to go like looking other places just to have another set of eyes. And like as I pick up my phone, it's already ringing and it's him. I'm like, man, I was just about to hit you. He was like, yeah, your mom just called, said he showed up. So of course now, like, whatever. If I wasn't stressing before, like if I thought I wasn't stressing before, I realized I was probably stressed because hearing that just kind of was like, oh shit. Like I was almost at the point of like the ramifications of being like, man, life is so terribly ironic, bro. How like a day before Father's Day this shit happened, and my dad has had like heart problems. I remember I was out like when he had a heart attack, and I was out at the time, and I missed my mom's call. Like little shit like that fuck with you. And you don't necessarily like, and especially it being my mom, because my mom don't really hit me. It was just I really didn't see my phone. And I think to myself like, yo, all the times there have been situations, I hate this went on such a dark tangent. Everything was fine. It was hilarious when I got to the house. I was telling them like, yo, next time you want to hit the strip club, bro, just let me know so that way I can have a story out there. Like, yo, we went to the park or some shit. Like, just don't, you can't just be turning your phone off. But come to find out, he was at the tire shop. He's getting ready to head back up to New York soon, so he wanted to get some things done on the car before he hit the road, dad shit. And his phone just died, and he's just telling me about the antics in the tire shop. Like 90% of life is just him, like me and him recanting moments where we observe some shit and be like, oh, that's not it. But yeah, my watch moment is just going through the motions of like being a parent, having a parent, and the kind of things that come with that. Like realizing, oh shit, this is what adulting is. Like you concerned about these types of things.
Yeah, man. Getting old, sure they'll sneak up on you and shit.
What?
One moment your parents telling you what to do, and the next moment you telling them what the fuck to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That shit happens so quick. But guess we just get into the Jay-Z shit. All right, cool. Shout out to Hov. I think I saw the story on Martin Notoriety, but basically, apparently Dame Dash was trying to sell an NFT of Reasonable Doubt I don't even know how that really works, but you know what I mean? I still haven't understood NFTs. I've seen them 1,000 times, listened to every fucking explanation of them, much like Bitcoin. I don't know really what the fuck is happening with it, man. It just seems like magic to me. Yeah. But apparently Dame Dash tried to sell an NFT of A Reasonable Doubt, like I said, and Jonathan Mannion. I mean, I've been thinking about this the whole time, like, Jonathan Mannion been going on tours, been doing like Reasonable Doubt shows and all this shit. And I was wondering, like, yo, is Jay sanctioning this shit or what? But apparently not. So I guess it finally really got the Hove, or who knows how long this type of shit takes. But I'm sure he probably just peeped it. Maybe he was trying to let him make a certain amount of money, and then you like drop the hammer down on the nigga. I get it, man. I mean, I don't know so much about the Reasonable Doubt thing, because it seems like y'all all went in together on that. But that Jonathan Mannion shit really, I was the whole time he would do interviews and talk about his art shows. I'm like, man, who is okaying this shit? Like, he's really out here just very comfortable.
Yeah, photography is a funny thing, especially when you photograph people. I remember thinking about that when I went to Stone Mountain. You go to take a picture of certain views of Stone Mountain, you can't post it because they're trademarked. Like,
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't post certain views. Like, they'll take those pictures and trademark it. So how are people like that?
Man, that racist ass shit.
But it's like that in most places. Like, any place that, like, vacation spots, certain spots on the beach, you can't take pictures and post it.
Eiffel Tower at night.
Yeah, stuff like that you can't post.
You can't post that. You can't take a
Something
picture
about the lighting display is copywritten, but I mean, people.
Wow.
People do the night version of it.
Oh, people! I've seen people do it though. Yeah. That's crazy.
Now that you mention it, I don't see a whole lot of like.
Might not have been all the way at night. Maybe it was like
dusk.
Yeah.
The sun
might have
was
been
up.
the morning. Yeah, might have been the morning. Yeah.
But yeah, I can imagine people being that protective about their likeness. It's one of the reasons I was thinking about how like becoming a rapper kind of works like you used to hear NBA players not really getting paid for their likeness in video games. Like, that was just a thing. Like, had to be like, whoa, you got me in the game.
Yeah, I can't remember the player's name, but it was a big thing with that. That's the reason why they don't do NCAA games anymore.
Right. Yeah. So, like, I kind of side with Jay too. Like, you're not gonna cap off me. I'm just giving it to you. No.
Yeah, and the fact that Jonathan Mannion's white is gonna make me take his side a little bit less. Jonathan Mannion, for the people that don't know, shot a lot of iconic rap covers, DMX, Jay, others.
Trinidad James.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah. On that note, we'll be right back.
We are back. Wash Gods in full effect. I think I said that on the intro.
Yep.
Washed.
Yeah, we're back once again, episode 66. We can get into these other topics. I guess, so, how do I want to really explain this? But technology is on some shit, man.
Big Brother is watching again.
So, Taji sent me this story. Yeah, one of y'all sent us a story. I thought you sent the story, wasn't it you?
Maybe.
Yeah, either way. Showing how police, like, they basically, like, contract traffic, like, to specific destinations. Is how they, like, find, like, weed spots and whatever spots, you know what I mean? So they can like, somehow use whatever fucking surveillance technology they have to see, like, oh, yeah, there's a more than...
they said it's cell phones, like...
Yeah, that is exactly what it was. They track
the cell phone activity.
Yeah, track cell phone activity. So they see if they have a lot of people going into one specific door, they're like, oh yeah, that must be the spot. So like, yeah, it's crazy, man. You think about all that shit, like all the people that get away with crime. So it's like, yo, okay, so if y'all have all this technology to find this shit,
why don't y'all stop terrorism?
Like, it's so much shit niggas is getting away with. I always think about that shit even with like all the crimes that are on camera nowadays, like period. Like I remember last week we were talking about what?
He said period. I'm sorry.
Sorry. All right.
I missed it.
Yeah. Sorry.
We had this whole conversation about
I know.
shit.
didn't say it in the way, so it didn't flag it for me.
Well,
Yeah, probably blanked that or something.
It's the flag for me.
It's the flag, man. Boy. I was about to get up.
Nah, I forgot what the fuck I was talking about.
Talking about traffic.
Police surveillance.
Yeah. I mean, I know, but
I
was going somewhere.
I think it's another effort for like them to pick low hanging fruit, like all of them. But they just you take the easiest pickings and it was gonna be the biggest draw financially. I remember it being a particular town in on the east side that got most of their revenue off speeding tickets. It's only a 2-mile like radius through that town. And most of it is in a residential neighborhood with stop signs. They were just clocking people on this one strip in between 2 counties. You do that so that way you can get a draw. I'm sure it's the same with criminal activities, depending on the department. Like even the government, you come up in an area or in an era where police is militarized with the backing of the U.S. government. This is post COINTELPRO. Like there's no limit to a lot of the shit that is feasible, especially when it comes down to black folks.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I always talk about all the shit I've been watching throughout the podcast. Don't have shit to say at the end. But
I ain't been watching shit.
Another thing I've been watching was FBI MLK. It's a documentary they did I think it was like a year ago. But it's basically about the FBI surveillance of Martin Luther King up until to the day he was murdered or whatever. It's just like they were showing all the technology they had back then, and just had my mind racing. They were doing this shit in the '60s. Like they had all kind of cameras and fucking lights, and hollowing out everything you could believe. You know what I mean? In hotel rooms, they would find out what hotel room he was gonna stay in advance and bug the whole room, camera that motherfucker out. Like they were trying to get information about his. They said Martin Luther King was a bit of a so they're trying to find him in his just
in case
his extramarital activities. You know what I mean? So they were trying to get actual vocals of him fucking and shit. Like they were really on some dirty shit. But it's just man, if they were doing that shit in the '60s, this 40 years later, I don't know.
Politician that just got aired out, and tied up,
BDSM
with a apple in his mouth.
Mm-hmm. And it always makes me think I feel like with every politician, celebrity, activist, I feel like the government has all our information already. They can just drop the hammer down whenever they decide to.
I knew that shit.
We willingly give it.
Yeah, tweets unless I don't even think it's feasible now. But tweets are stored in the National Library of Congress.
And that's the thing, though, man. I hate that narrative, man. This is a government narrative. No. We don't willingly give it. If we were willing to give it, we willingly gave it. It would be the fucking terms of agreement would be 4 words. Your shit is going, or 5 words. Your shit's going to the Library of Congress. Everybody would have stopped in. But now they do it very sneakily. They put that shit in, it's layered and layered underneath
legalese.
All kind of weird jargon and shit. They don't make it clear. That's that whole thing. If they know if they made it clear, nobody would be on this shit.
I remember
and then they tell you, no, you just gave it to us. No, we didn't give it to you. You did sneaky shit.
If you look in Article 7,
yeah.
Section 5,
no, we didn't
paragraph
give it to you,
subsection 3.
That's some shit. If your homeboy did that shit to you, you would look at him like a fuck nigga. We gotta start looking at the government the same way. It's no. That's fuckery. We didn't give away shit. But anyway, I always hate when people say that we gave it to him. No, we didn't give it to him. Nah, fuck that. They took it. They did sneaky shit, as the government always does. But
yep.
He was saying some shit. My bad.
I had no more.
Oh yeah.
It ain't too much. I wasn't surprised by it. It's oh shit, this how they get niggas.
Yeah. This shit just crazy though. But
I also think niggas is moving sloppy, bro. You got all this energy for scamming, nigga. You better figure out, what you
what you want to do, nigga, to do
you need to have hackers, nigga.
Yeah, turn your body temperature down to 0 so they can't try to track you.
Wetsuits, nigga. You got all this money from Balenciaga,
cover yourself in mud. Yeah.
You gotta take the predator approach. You gotta get it out the mud, nigga. You seen Schwarzenegger? Yeah, bro.
This is intentionally unclear. That's my whole thing. It's it's never said to us in a way that we would understand, like the average person. Like, this what people be like, didn't you read your terms of agreement? Like, motherfucker, who the fuck got time for that shit? Like, who has time for that? Like,
I don't have a lawyer on retainer every time I want to tweet some shit. That's not going to...
Yeah, like, come on, man. But shout out to Airbnb. Like this, New York Times did like an article about it. Luckily, they did like a podcast version of it too, so I listened to that. Thank God I didn't have to read all that shit.
Should have sent me that.
Yeah. Oh, it was in there. It was in there. Yeah, you can go through the article. They had an audio version. I was like, oh, thank God. But
should have told me. I would have more information on this.
Yeah, they did a little 30-minute wrap up of it. But basically, Airbnb is disgusting, bro. I'm never fucking with them. Shout out to Airbnb. But yeah, like it's been all kind of like rapes, murders, and all kind of shit in Airbnbs that like they paid niggas off so like nobody could ever come forward. Like so like they've paid. They said I think it was like close to like maybe 50 to 100 mil a year they pay out in settlements, like because of like random rapes and deaths and you know like assaults and shit. Like they highlighted this one story where this chick. Like basically, like you know, with a lot of Airbnbs, they have like pickup posts where like you would go pick up the keys to the place you're staying at. I guess somebody else, they had it so like people were picking up the keys without no ID or nothing. Like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go in and get the keys for A1 or whatever. So like somebody, I guess, got the key ahead of the person that was supposed to get it, and they waiting in the house and they like surprised the chick and raped her and shit. Like,
I mean, I always thought about that when people would Airbnb their cribs early on when Airbnb became a thing. It's like, yo, you not worried somebody gonna come in here and rob you? Like, ever?
Cause you just make a copy of the key, I guess, and
not
just,
even, bro.
Just go to Walmart right quick.
Yeah.
I just set it up, like you know what I'm saying, like not even like that. But if I was thinking on those terms, I set it up. Especially if I had a nice spot. But, oh shit, nigga, crime been over here crazy. This Atlanta, bro. At least know what your car look like. I always think about the worst possible scenario for me to be caught out there, like. And how niggas like move. And I think when you deal with shit like Airbnb, it just seems like it's built on shaky ground. The whole idea of it. But
the whole idea is built on trust, and like I think that's the same thing that Uber has ran into a lot of times. Like you just in the trust business. It's a tricky thing. It's like the same thing with Craigslist back in the day and shit like that. Any of those meetup type things where it's like you just have to trust humans to be not rapists or murderers. It's like it's a little tricky, yeah. Because I mean. You know, if you got to bet dollars to donuts or some shit, niggas are going to rape. I don't even know how that... Whatever, but yeah. But yeah, man. That shit was really crazy. Like, it was a lot of other stories that they highlighted too, but... you know, like I remember like hearing a comedian say the joke is like, "Yo, you had sex in an Airbnb. Best believe you got taped." I'm like, "Oh shit, really?" Yeah. I had some of my worst performances in Airbnb. But that's neither here nor there. I was
about to say, I don't know where we go from there. Yeah, another travesty that Airbnb is committed. You let me get taped.
Had Ben Simmons-like performances at Airbnb.
Shout out to them Hawks, nigga. Yeah. Hawks boys, nigga.
Yeah, I guess we'll leave that there. Yeah, stay away from Airbnb, man, or not, man, at your own risk. TikTok. So I saw this shit on Twitter, man. This shit is really really crazy. Like, it kind of gave me chills when I seen the video. Like, there's apparently this whole wave of, like, white women. They have this challenge where the music is playing in the background and they're crying the whole time. When the music cuts off, they have to, like, go back to, like, normal. And just to show how, like, they can just flip the switch on and off. So it's like all these white women on like TikTok just fake crying and then switching up and laughing and shit. And then this one guy that just like, you know, he kind of shows like a clip of one of the videos and he's just like, I'm not saying nothing, but you know what I mean? Right. Like he kind of leaves it blank because I guess he explained it the first time and it got flagged for hate speech. So he had to just kind of infer. And it was the craziest part about it is everybody that saw the video, he's like, yo, I'm not going to say nothing. And he just was silent, and if you're black,
you already know what that means.
You just filled in the blank. Like, you didn't even have to.
With the name, which is so fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing jumped out to me was Emmett Till.
Like, everybody. Like, I'm looking at the replies underneath it. They all say the same shit. I'm just like, shit. Like, this is just some shit as black men we just know. You know what I mean? Like, half the reason why Never mind. Yeah, but I don't know, man. A lot of reason why I don't really fuck with TikTok, man. Everything I've heard about TikTok has been fucked up. Like whether it was the
way they shape narrative based on the content that they put out. Like
how they said they were repressing black influencers on that too. That's another thing too, man. As I was watching that documentary, I thought about social media outlets, and it's fucked up, man. I guess this is probably the worst place to talk about this on. But shadow banning and shit.
Yeah.
It's some shit I just never really considered. Like we're in that next level of media where like it's kind of fucked up. Say you're an artist, if you get shadow banned, what the fuck do you do? There's nothing you can do. You wouldn't even, and you would never know.
You wouldn't know. Yeah.
You just think you're not good enough your whole life because your content is being blocked. It's just fucked up. Like, it's just the worst place to talk about this because as we make content, but I thought about that shit too. Like I know, like on Instagram, they say that only 20% of your followers actually see your posts.
Yeah.
It's just like
the algorithm actually only puts out the ones you're most likely to like in return, or the people who you contact the most.
And that's what they say, but who's to say it's not reading like skin color and shit? And like posts with like white people might be seen more. You know what I mean? Like there's some shit that could be written into the algorithm that we would just never know. Like, we would never know. There's no way to prove it. That's what's so fucked up about the future.
Yeah, you seeing all these multimedia moguls for TikTok or like Facebook coming under fire and having conversations with government really kind of put it in a different perspective. I was like, shit, nigga, we was just fucking around on here. Like now they sitting down having press conferences.
Like when they were showing like all the black influencers, they were talking about like, you know, doing like they showed this one cat that made up this dance, like a dance on TikTok, and apparently this white influencer took it, did the exact same dance. His shit had like 5 million views. Their shit had like 100 million. Just ran off with the sauce. Ain't shit you could do. That shit ain't trademarked or nothing. Like, you know, I don't know, man. As I said before, man, fuck TikTok, man. I'm never using that shit. But I think there is a problem. Like that's the problem with our whole thing. Everything in our life is being like funneled through social media, and like we don't know who's pulling the strings with. Well, we know, but we don't know, or we don't know how those algorithms are written. We don't know what really makes things rise to the top or anything. Like we know what we're told, but
you don't have any real frame of reference. It's like religion, man.
It's timekeepers.
Yeah, they are the timekeepers. Yeah. Keeping that shit on the right timeline, the white timeline.
On that note, we're gonna take a break. Be right back.
Yeah, welcome back. After that short hiatus.
Yep.
Hey, I don't really want to give the Hawks a lot of credit, man, but
Nah. Fuck all that.
Shout out to the Hawks.
Shout out to the Hawks.
They bested my 76ers in a 7-game
Hawk
series.
boys in the building tonight.
We're in the Eastern Conference Championship, man. I'm from born and raised in Atlanta, so shout out to Trae Young and the rest. But yeah, man, the city's on fire right now, man. Been seeing a lot of Hawks jerseys in the city. I know the sales is going crazy right now. I've never seen State Farm Arena so busy in all my years, especially during this time, because usually the Hawks are at home. Niggas is usually going fishing at this point. But
not this year, nigga, man. Stop throwing all that salt because they beat the Sixers. Thank your boy Ben.
Yeah, man. Shout out Ben Simmons. I don't even want to talk about it.
This nigga's really hurt.
Yeah, man. I don't really have nothing to say about this shit, man.
Fuck with the player, not the game, bro. He was an Iverson fan. You shouldn't be a Sixers fan. That shit is an anomaly. Why the fuck are you here?
I fuck with Joel Embiid, too, though. Shout out Joel Embiid. He played his ass off.
Got put in the headlock.
Yeah, man.
He's the perfect mid-range player. I was watching that shit. I was like, yo, this nigga's a technician. I watched him come down court 4 times in a row and just shoot that free throw jumper.
Bro.
Yeah. Like, oh, shit.
This nigga's 7'3", man, with the footwork.
Crazy.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Young Elijah Wan vibes, man. For real. But yeah, anyway, the Bucks it's going to be the Hawks-Bucks in the Eastern Conference Championship, so we'll see how that goes. I don't think the Hawks have much of a shot, but God bless them. I'm going to call Bucks in 5.
One thing, all right, well, we'll see how your Sixers prediction works, but it can't hurt to show a little faith. I'm rooting for the Hawks. But I do think one of the things that this playoff series showed us about the Bucks is Tempo ain't really got no handles. Like he can dribble, he can keep the ball, but he don't score with it, and it's a package deal. Like
I was gonna make fun of how you said his name, but I was like, nigga, I can't say his name.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Up the tempo, nigga.
Yeah, he has no bag, as they say. Yeah, man, we'll see though. I don't think the Hawks have anybody like to defend Giannis. Honestly, there's no matchup. You put John Collins on him, he's gonna get cooked. I'm getting cooked, as Adrian Broner says. Yeah.
That was a random reference.
I've been watching that fucking clip all week. That shit just, anytime I'm feeling sad, I just watch that shit. Adrian Broner, man, it's funny nigga. It's a lot of classic moments. He's like my Floyd. The way niggas love Floyd.
That says a lot about your lifestyle. Floyd right there, bro. Just fuck with another rich, ridiculous nigga, man. Don't fuck with the broke version of that nigga. That shit fucked up. You gotta struggle. You gotta struggle, man.
I fuck with the underdog in him, man. Like the fact that he just does dumb shit. And like he owns it too, though. I like niggas like that, man. Just
his shootout, the description of his shootout interview is like akin to the Soulja Boy rant. Like, I was driving.
And just all the times this nigga just got knocked out. Like, it's just funny. But I guess that's it. And then y'all want to do these tweets, I guess.
Yeah.
It's draft top tweets, man. This is a classic topic that we tend to bring back occasionally. Damn, that shit was crazy. We were just talking about this tonight. So it's right on time. But yeah, draft top tweets. Every once in a while, I'll get bored on Twitter. And because I had to switch my Twitter, I don't really have a whole lot of followers. It's really just the people that I fuck with. When I don't follow a whole lot of people. So, like, I really will go through somebody's whole tweet history in a day if I'm on Twitter, just to see what niggas is talking about.
I actually do that too, though. Like, certain people.
Dang, that's a lot.
But draft being on that list, I want to protect my tweets. They feel defenseless. And I don't know if at any point you want to comment on the psychology or thought process in which you had during these tweets.
Because I definitely remember that. And I feel like that was because a lot of times I want to say shit, and I know I can't say it because I'm like, I don't know where this shit is going to end up. Like somebody retweet it. It might not even be your follower.
End up viral.
Yeah.
That shit's happened to me multiple times.
Not even viral. It just gets to the person that you're talking about. You know what I mean? So it's
petty.
Damn, man. Yeah. Or not even that I'm talking about the person, that I know how it could be inferred that I'm talking about someone.
Sometimes I let that shit fly. Like, hit dog, holler. And it ain't necessarily, you got to keep that same energy for yourself. But with shit like that, like I remember saying, like, they was like, I know a certain type of nigga named this. Like, they all the same. I'm like, yeah, all them niggas steal. Knowing I know 3 people with this name. But if it land, that shit land, bro. And
I be seeing tweets about struggle rappers being offended, and I get offended immediately. So
yeah,
especially if it's like a chick that I know I smashed or something or dealt with. It's like, oh, bitch.
Well, in that case, like, you gotta look at, like, you are who you sleep with.
Yeah. Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You the type.
I like to think I'm not.
We both got a type.
Yeah.
Look at yourself.
I like to think I'm not who I'm sleep.
Hey, ladies. But that's my number one draft. My first draft top tweet. Second draft top tweet. This was really on par too because I've been hooping a lot. But imagine a young nigga calling you old school on the court. What do you do after that?
With that shit, I was thinking about hooping and shit. I was just like, damn, man. I have to go out there.
Go on.
I can't move like I used to and shit.
I remember you had another one of your.
And I'm gonna like back a nigga down. I'm gonna do a hook shot or some shit. Like, oh, old school, influence and shit. Man, then
one of your wash moments was out there. I guess you had hooped recently and been like, yeah, telling niggas you was just out there for exercise.
Yeah, that type shit. Because they was just like, nah, good hustle though, bro. And I'm just like, damn, man. Like, I'm getting a participation trophy out here and shit.
You a weekend warrior with a participation trophy.
Yeah, it was weekend warriors that you respect, and then there's old school niggas like, oh yeah, this nigga's clearly from a different era. Like, there's that.
His socks are too high.
Yeah. Yeah, the hook that's usually the giveaway. Or you back a nigga down.
Yep. Wow, that shit terrible, man. That's just big man play, bro.
You doing post moves?
Post moves get you them punch, boy.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Giannis.
Nigga shout out to being washed. I had this moment hooping out there at Eastlake, and it just happens to be a court by my crib. Niggas be shitting on hooping outside, bro. Sometimes I like being outside. It's the only time I'm really gonna do it. Hooping indoors kind of take away the appeal.
I didn't want to hoop outside no more because they said that shit is terrible for your knees. Another wash moment.
Mm-hmm. But a nigga shouted me out. Like, my team was winning, and the nigga was like, y'all only winning because of this nigga, bro. This nigga 6'5", won't even dunk. I'm thinking to myself, nigga, I gotta go to work tomorrow, nigga. What the fuck are you talking about? Y'all gonna have me out here with these niggas? And the whole game I'm watching before I get picked up, just fouling hard, nigga. So
that's another old nigga thing to do.
Like, stop fouling. Nigga, that's how niggas got shot at run and shoot, nigga. That was the shoot part. All right, sure. Number 3 draft top tweet. I was on a mission to accomplish nothing today. I think that goal was achieved. I think this was the day. No, this wasn't the barbecue day. That was Juneteenth. That was the weekend before.
The chop.
Oh yeah,
that was the chop weekend.
NRD weekend.
Yeah, I really wanted to go out. I think like that happens a lot of times. Where I tell everybody like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna see you there. And then I had that realization like, nigga, you're not going anywhere, man. Like,
I think that's just adulthood, nigga. Like.
Yeah, I feel like I do it more than most people. You
prioritize in real time.
Like, I just give myself any excuse not to go there. Like, nigga, it's dark. It's 8 o'clock and it's dark, bro. It's a bad sign. You never know what could be out there. Or I see like a shooting on the news. Like,
I feel like my laziness is like pawned off as intuition. Like, yeah, I wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
As soon as a nigga call me and tell me some shit happened, I'm like, yep, that was it.
That was the reason. Yeah.
It's nigga superstition, bro. Nigga wishing. Next draft top tweet. It's my personal favorite. This is a retweet, so it was kind of an assist. Shout out Slade the Monster. Slade the Monster tweeted like, How long do you think the phrase "period" is gonna last? Draft's response is that's up to niggas.
I feel like that doesn't really need much explanation. There's only 2 types of people out here say that phrase, so it's just one of those things. And if a man says that to me, I instantly question sexuality.
That's a fair assessment, man. It's not a masculine phrase.
Yeah. It's so fucked up that I thought. Well, never mind. Go on.
That's it, man. We only doing top 5, man. Because I think if we get it.
Todd, you got any? You good?
I have a couple honorable mentions.
All right.
Fuck. Dating in your 30s is like thrifting. Even when you find good shit, it's some shit that someone else didn't want that much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had that same idea, about Tinder. I was like, this is just like walking in a Rag-a-Rama.
Yeah. Or worse.
Yeah.
How do you watch porn and think, I gotta leave a comment under this video?
I always think about that for obvious reasons, bro. When I see comments,
what kind of sicko? You got reviews, nigga? Do your business and go. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
And the craziest part of that is after I tweeted that, I started reading more comments on the new porn videos.
Bro.
Yeah. Or sometimes I'm like, man, I wonder what her name is. And then you read those comments, they're like, oh yeah, if you can find her here. Or no, you just you can find her here, like you find what other video she in. Like niggas be putting you on game.
Mm-hmm.
So as much shit as I talked about them niggas, shout out to them, man.
Nigga drag.
Like damn, that shit is very useful knowledge. Sometimes I run out of porn stars. I'm like, damn man, who's the new talent? And
you can always go homemade, man. Yeah. Nobody has a name. Sometimes they don't have no face.
Nah, I like my porn like the NBA. I want to know who the top players are. I
want to see that name on their back.
Yeah,
I need a number to wear.
LeBron, nigga. I need to watch stars, nigga. I don't need small market teams. Like,
porn league might be a money draw.
That would be dope. Porn league. I don't even know how you would win, but anyway, I guess
everybody
we get it. We get into what we've been watching and listening to. For me, like I said, I watched the FBI MLK documentary. It was pretty cool. It just showed you how fucked up the FBI is, man. Honestly, especially with J. Edgar Hoover. I didn't know like the intricacies of like him and Dr. King's relationship. Like apparently they were going back and forth like across the media and just and they were just showing how like fucking I hate calling. I feel like there's a better name for Dr. King. It sounds anyway, but MLK.
My nigga Marty.
Yeah, Marty McFly. He was. They were just showing how he was. He was trying his best.
Dr. Marty McFly.
He was trying his best to not go head to head with J. Edgar Hoover and shit. Like as much as he.
Yo, it changes the whole premise of Back to the Future. Oh shit! Dr. Martin Luther King was like, "Yo, I had a dream, bro." Huey Lewis in the news come in. Beep, 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 beep. This nigga marching on Selma, going back in time. Oh man, what you talking about?
FBI, okay. Documentary was pretty dope. Yeah, he was just trying not to. Basically, the whole shit is him not trying to get murked and shit. You could tell like they was on his ass, so he was just like wasn't trying to talk too much shit. And he just like every time they would ask him direct questions about J. Edgar Hoover, he'd just be like, "Oh, he's a respectable man." You know what I mean? Trying his best, but that shit was just pretty funny. But not funny, haha, but funny, But other than that, I watched the Influencer documentary. It's a 2020 thing. They've been putting out decent documentaries. I also watched the joint about the heiress and the lawyer that's been stealing all. I think I talked about it on the last podcast. It's a lawyer that's been. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, cool. Anyway, check out the ABC 2020 documentaries. Oh, they also did one on Mike Tyson.
Oh shit.
It's a 2-part documentary. They're an hour episode apiece. It was pretty good. It shows the highs and lows. Man, that shit with Robin Givens, man. I forgot all about that interview like they did with Barbara Walters where she just completely... Huh?
Was it both of them? Or
yeah, it was both of them. Yeah, they sit on the couch together and she just completely just throws them underneath the bus. She's like, so how is it living with Mike Tyson? She's like, a nightmare. And he's sitting right beside her, yo. And she's like, he's like a child. He just throws tantrums and shit. And you just see him just falling apart. Like, he's trying to keep it together and shit. It's just like, man.
This nigga's gritting his teeth.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. All right, shout out. Nah, we would say that story for later. Anyway.
But it's just really fucked up. I like the documentary because they just kind of show how somebody becomes the person they are. Like, it's, like when you see the entirety of his life, it's like, oh, well, it kind of makes sense, like, why he lashed out and did the things he did. Like, everything lines up perfectly. Like I always say, man, don't tell me, call somebody crazy, just show me how they got there. Like, that's the perfect example of that. Like, he has perfect reason to be who he is. So, that shit was really dope. I got into Loki, finally. I enjoyed that. Tom Huddleston, I believe his name is. He's really good. I think he plays the fuck out of that character, man. Like, Owen Wilson was a good addition. I like the way Marvel is starting to sprinkle in like A-list actors into their movies, or maybe the A-list actors are getting desperate. But wherever the case is,
Marvel's Koch Records for actors.
Yeah, everybody's trying to get in the Marvel universe.
Champ, boy.
Yeah. Like, I was even seeing the MODOK credits. It's just like, they got so many people in there. I didn't realize there was so many comedians in there. Patton Oswalt putting on. That too, I didn't really, I guess it's not really a watch, but I read like the backstory on MODOK. It was really, really dope. Like like you talked about another episode, like that bar with all the villains. Like each of them has a very unique backstory through the comic books that I didn't know. You know, because I'm not like even with the Melter shit. That shit was really dope because he's like a character from the 50s. So like that's why kind of like he died and shit at the end because like he died in the comics like 60 years ago. So like that's why they make him the old head and shit. Like they like chose all the little defunct characters from like various storylines. Like, I thought that was really
because nobody would have any frame of reference to who they
are.
Yeah,
it makes you dig a little bit deeper. Then you see like each person has like every character has like a long has a history and it's really dope. But I think that was about it. I listened to the Dollop again. I didn't know that Cassius Clay was an abolitionist first. So Cassius Clay Muhammad Ali was named after abolitionist, a white abolitionist from the 1800s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They have a whole episode about Cassius Clay, the abolitionist. So that shit was really interesting. Definitely invite anybody got time to listen to that. But I think that's it.
All right. I guess since you started with what you've been watching, I'll start with what I've been listening to. Also been listening to the Dollop. I listened to the episode about deodorant.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was a hilarious episode. Basically, it talks about how the marketing for deodorant became a thing, or the discovery of people stinking and the process that they went through trying to get rid of that.
Yeah, they had to like shame people into like that the whole deodorant thing. What's crazy is they attacked women first.
Yeah, first.
Yeah. Like deodorant was only a thing for women at first. Like stench used to be like a manly type thing.
They said one of the ads was like a man walking out of his family's home.
Oh yeah.
Holding like his wife was holding his daughter, and he just got all his bags packed, and he was like, "Yo, why is Edward leaving home? Is it because the cooking's not good? Is it because the house isn't clean? No.
This bitch got a funk box." Yeah.
She carries the odor of pennies and fish everywhere she goes. But no, that was a dope episode. I've also been listening to Hound Tall a lot. Hound Tall was one of the podcasts that Draft put me on with Moshe Katcher, one of the alumni of the Champs, one of my other favorite podcasts. But they did an episode on Scientology that I thought was really interesting. One of my favorite discussions, the discussion between like religion and cult, they kind of break down. I don't think there's really any answer. I think it's just one of those things like if it lasts long enough, it's a religion. If it's new and you don't understand shit based on society standards, it's a cult. And sometimes it worked like NBA players too. Sometimes you never get drafted, but niggas know about you. Like, But yeah, that was a dope one. They referenced the South Park episode with Tom Cruise and how tight it brought to my attention how tight knit Scientologists are and how like ready they are to fuck with you. But they had an episode with Tom Cruise in it, and they had to figure out how to hide this nigga's likeness in the whole show. I'm like, man, imagine being that untouchable. Hide my likeness. Shout out Jay-Z. What else have I been listening to? Music wise, still pray for Haiti. I watched a documentary on Vice. I guess we're getting back to what I'm watching. But a documentary on Vice on the political state in Haiti right now. And it's fucked up, as you would probably assume. Another governmental coup seems to be on the rise. And they talked about how like a lot of the neighborhoods are controlled by gang leaders pretty much. A lot of the same things you see if you ever watch The City of God or any documentary that explain the situation in the favelas in Brazil. But basically they have these little local warlords that run the communities based on what the government allows them to do. And now there's starting to be, of course, a pushback from the citizens of these communities, and there's a lot of casualties. And at this point, the citizens are banding together, prepared to talk about what the government is doing. And it always tends to happen around a very politically poignant election, and this is no different. So whoever's in charge, I forget the names. I probably should have done more research before I had the podcast. But it made me think about the album Pray for Haiti and some of the interviews that Makami has been doing, talking about like this being bigger than just the album. A lot of the proceeds for the album, I think he mentioned, were going to the relief fund in Haiti.
Yep.
And being part of the community, I feel like he's probably got. I remember dating a Haitian chick that was telling me like yeah, it was real down there. Like my dad and my uncle would sit on the roof with AKs at night. Like we had a compound, like just because they were friends with somebody who ended up being who was part of the party leading the coup. And she was like, yeah, we got to get the fuck out of there. So that's how I ended up here. But it's just our worldview is so skewed, and a lot of times it does take shit like art to bring that in perspective. So shout out Makami. Young Nudie, 21 Savage, EA. Shout out Logan. He sent me that and I was proud. Made my heart smile. I just talked about like I'm from the 5, middle finger for a 6. That line, just the intro, like everything that I feel like sums up a nigga from the east side. That you picture this nigga walking out the corner store, no shirt, dreads, asking you if you want gas. I didn't do a huge this week, but I've been listening to Sly and the Family Stone, If You Want Me to Stay. So Very Hard to Go, Tower of Power, Dearest Alfred, Karungabin, Miss Me,
I
shout
thought
out
of
Black Spade.
Lumi D immediately when you said, "If you want me to stay."
Indeed.
Shout out to Lumi D, wherever she is.
Shout out.
I think she. Never mind.
Leave her alone.
Yeah, I got you.
That's cool.
Bad, not good. Time moves slow. What else? Bobby Caldwell, Open Your Eyes. Legends of the Fall, Ron Mexico. Evil Eye, Mike. West Side Gun, Versace. Let me think what else. I think that's it as far as what I've been listening to. What have I been watching? Like I said, that Vice documentary on Haiti. It's the most recent one. I may put a mention of it in the liner notes. Maddie Matheson's Dead Set on Life. It's an interesting show from a cooking perspective. You know, I keep my eye on that generation of like cooking show trend. Action Bronson, etc. A lot of these motherfuckers be white. It's a conversation to be had. But that being said, there was a moment in one of the episodes he had where he was borderline doing blackface, and I have no comment or opinion on it. I understand first of all, he's Canadian. I don't know how y'all motherfuckers keep entering this blackface mix, but y'all find a way. But he went to Juve, which is a big carnival.
Yeah, that's 2 of them.
3.
Yeah, 3 of them with him. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he went to Juve, which is a Caribbean festival, a Caribbean party held during Caravana, which is a big Caribbean festival held in Toronto. And he covered himself in oil, kind of like in the Jay-Z Big Pimpin' video. And they described it as like a way of reminding them that like it's mocking the slave master, which don't seem like you mocking the slave master. Like it doesn't seem like that. But anyway, the food was dope. He went to a lot of Caribbean restaurants. Apparently there's like a reggae lane up there, which kind of commemorates the West Indian culture that's in Toronto. Because I always hear things about like how many West Indian people are in Toronto, like how black the city is. And anytime I went to Toronto as a child, never looked like that. So like it was interesting from that perspective. I've been really interested about this Anthony Bourdain documentary because I want to see the behind the scenes on kind of like the type of persona that inspired all these seeds or like branches of this type of media. So I've been looking forward to that. Watched that trailer like 4 times. The Vince Staple Law Averages video, which was really dope. Lumberjack by Tyler the Creator, also a dope visual. Really looking forward to the album. A lot of Kill Tony. Alex Jones episode. I went back and watched the Joe Rogan and I think it was just a Joe Rogan episode, one where they roasted this nigga hat because he was like, "Yo, you always be wearing these comedian hats." There's a paperboy hat. It's on like you sell newspapers in the 50s. And then randomly, shout out to my YouTube algorithm for once. The Best of Master P. It's a 7-hour video. Like apparently it was like a series that they did, but they string all these episodes together on YouTube. It was done by BET. But it's just about No Limit and like how he built that brand. I didn't realize that he moved out to California to start No Limit Records. He was living out there in Richmond. And it talked about his family, how the story about him taking his grandfather to the hospital and them giving him the wrong medicine was like the same day my dad went missing. So I'm just sitting there thinking about like, oh fuck, nigga, it's one of the moments, man. But a lot of the shit with his brother C Murder, like when you heard it, because we didn't have access to social media and the story didn't unfold in front of us, it was one of those things where I looked at it like, oh, okay. I kind of see how it carried out in public or in a public setting for him. Because when he explained it in his words, I was like, oh, okay, that shit makes sense. But, yeah, shout out Master P, man. Real black mogul. But, yeah, that's it, man. Taji, anything?
Real quick, just been listening to French Drill. Shout out to Gazo. Chromatics, Closer to Gray, and Kill for Love. 2 of my favorite joints. Drugs and Hella Melodies.
Yeah, that joint's cool.
Yeah. Trespassing, Ohio Players. You Got the Love, Rufus and Shaka Khan. That's really been it. I've been playing my Game Boy Advance SP because I've been playing Link to the Past, one of my favorite Zelda joints. It was on Super Nintendo. That's really been it. I haven't been watching anything. Just the beach.
It's a punny name. Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, that's
I remember me and Taji, one of our first bonding moments was Ocarina of Time.
Love that shit. I'm playing that shit on 3DS right now too.
Yeah,
I never played a Zelda joint. Man.
Oh my god.
Ocarina of Time was one of them ones.
Nah.
I dove in.
Oh man.
I always wanted to get into Star Fox too, but that's
Star Fox is great.
I hope they're bringing that back. Or new Star Fox is coming.
Yeah, Metroid too.
Yeah. Really. Anyway, I guess on that note, Washed Never Washed Up. Shout out to 404 creators.
Man, shout out
No Limit Exposure.
Man. You see us, you see them.
Yeah. We'll be back next week.
Y'all stay black.
Yep.